Zimbabwean citizens in Zambia were blocked by Zambian police authorities from marching and submitting a petition letter to the SADC meeting of Ordinary Ministry on Defense. According to inside information, Zambian police were reported to have received letters from Zimbabwe demanding them to crush demonstrations against Mr. Munangagwa being placed as SADC chairperson. ZANU-PF and Mr. Munangagwa, using the courts, plan to keep Jameson Timba and his team in prison until the SADC summit in Zimbabwe is over. This tragic plan breaks human rights and silences citizens' voices. The Zimbabwean government continues to imprison citizens' voices, but demonstrations are set to take off in Zimbabwe despite the tireless work of the people's enemies. Zimbabwean citizens were blocked by Zambian police from marching and submitting a petition to the SADC meeting on defense. Inside information revealed that Zambian police received letters from Zimbabwe instructing them to suppress protests against Mr. Munangagwa's appointment as SADC chairperson. ZANU-PF and Mr. Munangagwa plan to keep Jameson Timba and his team in prison until the SADC summit in Zimbabwe concludes, violating human rights and silencing dissent. Despite these efforts, demonstrations are expected to continue in Zimbabwe. Zambia's main opposition party, the Patriotic Front, criticized President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND for allegedly orchestrating protests against Zimbabwe's SADC chairmanship, which could cause regional division. The PF Secretary General, Mr. Rafael Nakasenda, accused President Hichilema of abandoning Zambia's non-alignment policy in favor of closer ties with the West, risking regional stability. Mr. Nakasenda condemned Hichilema's actions, including sending Nevers Mumba to lead the SADC election observer mission to Zimbabwe, and organizing protests involving Zimbabweans and citizens from other countries. Mr. Nakasenda emphasized the historical ties between Zimbabwe and Zambia, labeling the protests as provocative and calling for SADC to censure President Hichilema. He accused Hichilema of failing to uphold the rule of law and entrenching political intolerance, threatening Zambia's unity. Attempts to get comments from Zambia's Information and Media Permanent Secretary and Zambia's ambassador to Zimbabwe were unsuccessful. A senior Zimbabwean official noted that opposition members were coordinating protests to tarnish Zimbabwe's image before the SADC summit.